How are you doing, folks, and welcome back to Folk and Fable. In this episode I have rejigged it, re-edited it, just to take you back to the story of the Lambton worm and back to my home county. Apart from that, I'll let this handsome bald geezer tell you the rest. See you in a bit. So, bit of a different one for you. As you can see, I'm kind of grinning from ear to ear over this one because I'm taking you on a nostalgic path. I am here in County Durham, my home county, and just where I've parked there, about 5-10 minutes walk from there, would have been where I grew up. Now, I'm taking you down to a place called Keepia Woods. And the reason for this is because I want to show you something where where we used to grow up as kids. But also, I wanted to tell you the start of a folklore tale that is quite famous in the county of Durham. And I'm just wondering how well known it is outside of the county of Durham, and even outside of the northeast. So let me know in the comments if you at the end of this video if you enjoyed it, and of course if you actually know this story or have heard of this story before. Ladies and gentlemen, Folk and Fable brings you the tale of the Lambton worm. In this little folklore explore, we'll be visiting 3 locations around the county of Durham. First is Keepia Woods. I'm here to do a little bit of childhood reminiscing, with a few daft stories, and to start off this folklore tale.
Believe it or not, when we were kids, we used to come sledging down here. And it's quite a long path. I mean, I'll just flip this around here actually. So the path comes from up the car park there, and it comes all the way down. Now, as you can imagine, this is all covered in snow during probably well, back then probably would have been December, not these days. And especially in the northeast, there's prone to be a bit more snow than other places, that's for sure. So yeah, used to come sledging down here. Obviously sheer drops off the side as well. It's like the kind of thing you just wouldn't do these days as an adult, but as a child it was fantastic. But let me just tell you a little story as we come to this little bridge here. So my brother was with us, our David, and comes flying down here. I was behind him. Comes flying down here, and when you get to this bit at the bottom, now if my mum watches this, she might not even remember this or even know this. I might not even told her. But when you get to the bottom of here, there actually wasn't a bridge here. From memory, there wasn't a bridge here at all to get you across here. I think it was actually just either like a big fallen tree, or you could actually still get across. But I think over time, the sides have eroded quite badly. Yeah, I think there actually wasn't a bridge here. There wasn't a bridge here at all. You could just actually walk across the river, and there was in the winter time there was a stream come down here. So there's a waterfall up there, and all the water would flow down here. But then there was a big old tree, just like a massive fallen tree just across here. I remember it. And my brother had come flying down here. Couldn't stop himself in time. There were no barriers here at all. No fence there either. And he just come flying across the top of here. Jumped. I was behind him watching this. So he came flying across here, jumped, lost his sledge entirely, and ended up on the big old tree down there, right across his belly. Totally knocked the wind out of him. I thought he'd broken ribs. he was lying there motionless for about, well, I don't know, what seemed like an age. It was probably only about bloody 5 seconds. But, you know, I absolutely crapped myself at the time thinking, Jesus Christ, my brother's dead. But, yeah, that was one of the stories at the time when we used to come down here. But now it's great. But we used to actually get down there. Obviously, the river would go down there, and would go and skip stones down the down by the river, which I'm going to do now. This is a bit nuts, to be fair, because I've probably not stood on these on this beach part of the river for, God, I don't know. I remember bringing my kids down here as well when we were when I was a little bit younger, maybe about 15 years ago. I don't think we actually came here, so I'm going to put me I'm going to put my bag down there. I'll put my bag down there now, and nice and clear. It's so quiet as well. It is during the week, so it's like there'd be next to nobody around. But I'm going to skim a few stones. Let's do this. So what you need, folks, is a nice flat stone. This one might be pretty good, although it hasn't got nice shaped rounded edges. They are the best ones. If you're a professional stone skimmer, and if you can even see it after a few whiskies. So I am going to skim this across the River Wear for the first time in goodness knows how many years. I don't even know. I dread to think how many years it's been since I've actually stood on these shores. It really has been a bit of a nostalgia moment here, to be honest. Oh, Bobby Dazzler never left me.
Several goes later.
Right, last go. Oh yes, that pretty much made it to the other side. Cracking. Right, enough of this, folks. Let's get on with this folklore tale. See you in a bit. I hope you don't mind me this format that I'm doing for this particular video. It might just be for this particular video. So seeing as I just haven't talked to you guys for a long time as well, I just thought I'd bring you along. We'll talk a bit of rubbish along the way, do a bit of reminiscing. So folks, as I'm heading up towards Durham, I am going to just explain a few things along the way. The story of the Lambton worm doesn't actually start here. I just wanted it to start here because I wanted a bit of nostalgia, and wanted to come and see Keepier Woods like I hadn't seen it for such a long time. Share a few stories of childhood, stuff like that, and how we used to goad each other by not jumping in the river and not chucking too much stones in, because the Lambton worm will come and get you. I remember one of the lads who used to kick around with years and years ago when we were kids actually swore blind he actually was he was attacked by the Lambton worm. Can't remember what it was, to be fair, but I remember the story getting bantered around, and of course that set the cat amongst the pigeons. When we used to come down here, rarely did we used to go in the water for a while. Be chucking big stones in, trying to scare the supposed monster. But little did we know that the story of the Lambton worm is actually up in Lambton, which is it used to be Lambton Lion Park years and years ago when I was a kid. But it's a big stately, privately owned estate up near a place called Penshaw. And Fatfield is another place as well, which also is part of the story, and I will be going there. So I'm walking along here so I can show you a little bit of something else that we used to call the shooting galleries, or the targets when we were kids. And I believe, correct me, I might be wrong, but I believe there might have been actually old army training targets back in the day. But it's nice and open, and I can get some, hopefully pick up some signal for the drone, because I couldn't do it where we were down there. Everything was all closed in, you're in a valley. And yeah, so I'm nearly there. A few minutes, fellas and lasses. Uh-oh. So another little tale that I've got to mention here. I'm going to have to mention this one because I totally forgot about it until I actually just set foot on this land, on this grassland. So when we were kids, I was with a couple of mates of mine, two brothers, Glenn and Barry Davies, who I'm still very good friends with. Love them to bits, absolutely fantastic, brilliant people they are. And we were here, used to be, obviously, you saw by the sign back there was like cows and bulls. You can see as well as like your dried cow plats hanging around, cow pats, sorry. So we used to come here, get big stones from the beach down there, bring them up, and start dashing them into the cow pats to get big old splats. See if we could actually get each other freaking dirty with them. And one of my mates, Barry, decided to actually chuck this big old plate-sized stone into a big old cow plat, and splattered up on him so much he actually he got some stuck on his lip as well. And he was he's running round going ran down to the river, and we see he was there washing his face off in the river. God's sakes, oh man, I totally forgot about that before I stepped into this field. But I just had to recount that, lads and lasses. Hope you liked it. Legends, absolute legends. So this place here that I'm coming up to there now, we always used to class this as like the targets. Now I've not really found out a great deal about it, to be fair. Whether it was actually part of a building that the military used to use. I know further along the way there's further up the river there's like more towards like the Territorial Army training place, but it's quite a distance from me, to be honest, so I doubt that, well, I don't know, they might come down here and have done target practice on these things many years ago. I remember them being a lot taller. That's probably just age though. They're just concrete structures, basically, just concrete lumps. I can't recollect from memory whether they had something else on them or whether there was something else there. I'm really not too sure, but it is what it is.
Wisht, lads, had your gobs, and I'll tell you about the worm.
So folks, we're just walking back up the trail back to the car. So I thought I'd just start off by letting you know something about the folklore tale. It mainly revolves around a young lad called John Lambton, who is heir to the Lambton estate and is still very much an estate there today. It's a private estate in County Durham. He was a bit of a rebellious character by all what I'm read and told. Liked to get his own way. And on this particular day, it was a Sunday, decided he didn't want to go to church, and decided he wanted to go fishing instead. So went back to his homestead, picked up his kit, and away he went. He was kind of stopped by an old man who recognised him on the way down there, who told him that no good would come of a person that misses church on a Sunday.
So folks, I hope you enjoyed that little intriguing and nostalgic trip down Keepier Woods. We're heading further north now. We're going up the A1 towards Cheshire Street, on towards Fatfield, and the site of Worm Hill, where this story will continue.
So as we left John there before, John Lambton, he had gone fishing, didn't catch anything, and just as he was packing up, he got a bite, reeled the thing in, and it ended up being like an eel-like creature, or lamprey. Lampreys are like quite an eel type creature with a bit like suckers on them, almost like a worm eel creature. Anyway, he'd never seen one before, and he was quite shocked by the whole thing. The old man then just turns up out of nowhere that he met earlier on, and John exclaimed to him that he'd actually caught the devil, and was so shocked by it that he chucked it down the nearest well.
We will continue in a short while after this explanation of reasons why I couldn't complete the story on location.
Reason being was I'd never got to actually finish the story at Lambton Castle. So I tried a few various things at home, in my room. It wasn't kind of working, so I decided to come out into the countryside, which is right on my doorstep. I'm going to find a nice seat at the top of this hill, which I'm going to be knackered about when I get to the top of it, and I'm going to continue the story. God, I'm unfit. So, let's get on with this. I've reached the top of the hill, took us a while. I'm going to continue this with the help of a very kind YouTuber called Michael Boyle. I'll put his name on the screen here there now. It's at Coda Mick, that's Mick with a K. So yeah, he's helped me out with some fantastic footage of Lambton Castle. So as I explain this story going forward, they'll get some shots of his fantastic aerial footage, even some of the stuff where he was kind of walking around. At the time when I went, I couldn't actually get in there. It was closed off for whatever reason, I don't know. So I never actually got to continue the story at Lambton Castle, but we will continue it right now. And there the creature stayed, forgotten. Years went by, and the young lad that was John Lambton became a young man. And because of his rebellious nature when he was a young lad, he was sent away, joined the Crusades, and went off to fight battles in foreign lands. Meanwhile, back home, the creature that John had thrown down the well had become large, very large indeed, and the well had also become poisonous and unusable. The villagers had started noticing that livestock was starting to go missing, and the creature had become so large it had left the well and wrapped itself around a local hill, now known as Worm Hill. Legend says you can still see the rings where it wrapped itself round the hill, apparently 10 times. The worm begins to terrorise nearby villages, eating sheep, preventing cows from producing milk, and even snatching away young children. It then heads towards Lambton Castle, where John's father, the old lord, still resides. He manages to sedate the creature in what becomes a daily ritual of offering the worm milk from 9 of his best cows, or a full trough filled to the brim. A group of brave villagers try to kill the beast, but unfortunately they are quickly dispatched. When a chunk of the worm is cut off, it simply reattaches itself and magically self-heals. Visiting knights also try to destroy the beast, but unfortunately they are also killed. When the worm is angry, it coils its tail around huge trees, ripping them up and using them like some kind of giant hammer, and everyone and everything in its reach is absolutely smashed and destroyed. All seems very bleak, but after several years John Lambton returns from the Crusades, only to find his father's estate almost destitute because of the worm's destruction. John decides he's going to fight it, but first he seeks the wise woman of Durham. The wise woman of Durham hardens John's resolve to kill the beast by explaining his responsibilities for the worm. She tells him to craft his armour in spikes and to fight the worm in the River Wear, where it now spends most of its time wrapped around a rock. The wise woman also tells John that after killing the worm, he must also kill the first living thing that he sees, or else his family will be cursed for 9 generations and will not die in their beds. John prepares his armour according to her instructions, and then arranges with his father that when the worm is killed, he will sound his hunting horn 3 times. On this signal, his father is to release his favourite hound that will run towards John. He will kill the dog, thus stopping the curse from going forward. John Lambton then fights the worm by the river. The worm tries to crush him by wrapping him up in his coils, but cuts itself on its spikes. The pieces of the worm then fall into the river and are washed away before they can join up again. Eventually, the worm is dead, and John sounds his horn 3 times. Unfortunately, John's father is so excited about the beast being dead, he rushes towards him to congratulate him. John obviously cannot bear to kill his father, so after they meet, the hound is released and dispatched. But it is too late. 9 generations of Lambtons are cursed and will not die peacefully in their beds. Thus, the story ends.
How are you doing, folks? Really hope you enjoyed that, and welcome to my little hovel. A couple of things I want to do. I might do this at the end of every kind of folklore tale that I'm going to put out for 2025. Is an origins story, or just me talking about the origins of the story, just to like sum it up really, because you know it's a folklore tale, but there could be some truth within it. It's how these tales are started, like a fisherman's tale. You know, I caught something like this big, but really it was about this big. So let's kind of start with the worm itself. The worm itself could well, as I mentioned in the story, could well have been a lamprey. It's depicted that way in a lot of the folklore tales artwork. You'll see in some of the artwork, you'll have like, you know, 8, 9, 10 holes down the side of its head on each side. These are its gill holes, and that is actually true with actual lampreys. Also as well, something that's never really mentioned in the stories at all is that the water that's around that area of the River Wear is slightly brackish, so kind of salty. The estuary ain't too far away, so you know it's slightly tidal, so you could get seawater coming up through there, and obviously with that will bring sea creatures. Could actually bring sea lampreys, which are actually bigger than the normal river stuff. I know if you got a hold of one of those, you know, 3 or 4 foot long kind of thing, you'd have gotten quite a shock pulling one of them things out with its big horrible kind of like, you know, toothy sucker underneath. Yeah, that'll really shock them. So something else to mention is the curse of the Lambtons. So the wise woman did say that none of the Lambtons would sleep nicely in their beds if the dog was not dispatched when it was meant to have been, and it wasn't. So 3 generations afterwards, it seems to me that the curse held up. Robert Lambton drowned, Sir William Lambton died at the Battle of Marsden Moor, and Henry Lambton died in his carriage whilst crossing Lambton Bridge. So it seems that the curse did hold true for those 3 generations thereafter the story. Well folks, that's about it, but before I go, I want to say a few thank yous to a few people. So massive thank yous to you, Michael, for giving me permission to use your drone footage. Really appreciate it, mate, and I hope you're keeping well. Please go and check out his channel, folks. He does some nice stuff. Secondly, I want to say a massive thank you to all of you guys. I mean, it has been very slim pickings on my channel this year, and I really have actually thought about closing the whole thing down, but you know, the folklore stuff has come up, and I'm for 2025 at least, I want to give it a good go with the folklore stories on location if I can. So with that in mind, huge thanks to you all. Really appreciate you hanging around and sticking with the channel for all of this year. And yeah, that is it. Until the next one, have a great Christmas and New Year, and I'll see you in 2025 with some new stuff. Cheers, folks.